This is an emergency broadcast. Please do not turn off this message. HoloNet services in all lower districts are being suspended for the next 7 hours due to an oncoming mass rain. The fidget personality has been overwritten for the sake of clarity of communication. In the last hour, the Harmony Weather Services confirmed a storm of mass rain bearing down on Harmony Valley's lower districts. Please seal your houses, activate any waterproofing measures you may have bought from companies such as Corp. Those without access to these measures or without access to housing are urged to make their way to the storm shelters. Please be aware that there is unlikely to be space for everyone. Stay tuned as we present a safety guide for surviving the onset of mass rains.
Has this ever happened to you? You're out on the town with a lovely gal. She's on your arm, and you think this might be going your way. You check your wallet to make sure you brought protection, because you're a responsible adult. But as your hand reaches for hers, a drop of rain hits you. Except it's not really rain, because it hurts. This rain might be water on the outside, but the liquid contained within each drop is heavy and toxic enough to hurt and even burn your hand. This is a single drop from what we call mass rain. Now isn't that interesting? Remember, mass rain comes from our synthetic enemy. They cannot march their armies, their carnivorous maw, to our doorsteps because of the work being done by our brave military. So the mass rain is their way of striking at us from a distance. It is a petty thing they attempt, and you, a bright young man whose date recently came third in a Harmony City beauty pageant, can weather any storm, particularly one summoned up by an enemy with no skin. Synthetics shed their skin a long time ago. This is because they hate humanity. When we built them, we gave them a gift. The Bible says that God made us in His image, which is why we made the synthetics, not in our image, but in God's. And they reject that. They reject you, and they reject Daniela. That's the name of the broad on your arm. Anyway, you need to find somewhere safe, now, or you're going to die. Depending on where in Harmony you live, under which corporation you have set down your roots, you may have different protections from the mass rain. The Shale Future Foundation have reinforced their underground train stations to survive the impact of a mass rain. The Corp company sells proofing materials to protect your houses. Yours may be safe. Most districts provide bunkers, designed to protect large groups of people, particularly with those unsafe houses or the homeless, from the onslaught of mass rain at reasonable prices. Be aware that a house without mass rain reinforcement may take substantial structural damage, and that it is considered irresponsible to not attempt to purchase some form of mass rain protection. Daniela would not approve. What eligible young lady wishes to tussle within the sheets of a man whose home is not protected from the mass rains in some way?
Good evening, Harmony City. As is so often the case, I am Michael Silverstone. I am the president and CEO of the Silverstone Corporation. You would not believe the difficulty I've had to face to punch through this emergency broadcast. The fines I'm about to face? Unbelievable. Ugh. But it is worth it for what I'm about to say. You see, the Silverstone Corporation has your best interests at heart. As you may be aware, we've been constructing mass rain shelters all across the Silverstone districts of Harmony Valley. These will be the cheapest form of mass rain shelter offered by any corporation. It seems that as of right now, there is an impending mass rain, but our shelters are not yet complete. Because the Silverstone Corporation cares about you, though, we've decided to open our doors to you anyway. At a discounted rate, you will be given access to the, as of yet incomplete, most luxurious safety bunkers in all of Harmony. So, go get yourself over. You all know by now that Silverstone is the most reliable way to keep your family safe. The Silverstone Corporation is not liable for any injuries you may receive within the premises of the Silverstone mass rain shelters. Please be aware that you are entering an active construction site and the location is not always safe. Enter at your own risk. On-site medical attention is provided on a first-come, first-served basis unless you have pre-ordered access to the Silverstone Broadcast Network. Those with pre-orders will receive discounted services to medical assistance for the duration of the night. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Silverstone, we care about you all.
Broadcast. Please do not turn off this message. HoloNet services in all lower districts are being suspended for the next...
I shut off the broadcast, clearing the noise from my head and leaning into a heavy sigh that overtakes my body. I'm lightheaded. My hands are shaking. I have no time to consider the mystery of the strange voice who spoke moments ago, and the timing of her intervention with the mass rain announcement. And I definitely don't have the time to consider what this has to do with the information on my last life. Samantha rushes off into the crowd. She's gone to the windows and is climbing up on a table to reach the top of one of them. I didn't notice them before, but there are fairly sizable metallic blocks atop each window and door in the bar. Samantha's grabbing one, trying to pull it down. Meanwhile, the crowd around her is in a fervent panic. Half of them are trying to shove their way through the door at once, whilst the rest are turning to the bar itself. To Scarlett and Conrad. The former is scowling. The latter is drinking. Finally, Scarlett stands up on the bar counter with a pan in one hand and a metallic ladle in the other. She hits them together, and the banging sound soars across the room. Conrad assists with a whistle. Together, the noises gather the attention of the panicked crowd, though the nervous and concerned talk and conversation is overtaking anything Scarlett's saying. She's trying to yell over them, but it's not working. They're all yelling back. In the corner of the room, Samantha's trying to close another window shutter. But someone's in the way, yelling at her, begging for help. Samantha faces away from me. I can't make out what she's trying to say. I'm supposed to keep to myself. Definitely not draw the attention of anyone, especially Conrad. What else am I supposed to do? The solution seems completely clear to me. I reach for the revolver on my hip and pull it out, aiming the nose directly at the ceiling above me. I thumb back the hammer, as I've done before. It's significantly easier when pointed away from a human being. That's for sure. I fire 2 rounds. The thumb and sharp bang of the gun firing silences the bar. Everyone turns to look to me, horrified, scared, uncertain. All they need is direction. I lower the gun to the table and let go. Crossing my hands over my knees, I do my best to avoid looking at Scarlett and Conrad, though I can tell that Conrad is turning a red shade of fury at the sight of me sitting in his bar. "Listen to the woman at the bar," I call out, my voice clear. I pray the tremble within it doesn't betray my discomfort with the situation. All those loud noises, all the shouting. My head is spinning one way, whilst the world spins another. The eyes in the room remain fixed on me. I sigh, and allow one hand to drift back to the revolver, gently laying it on the scratched wooden handle. The movement is finally enough to turn their heads back to Scarlett. I look to her. She smiles at me and nods her head thanks, a motion which Conrad thankfully misses as he stares daggers at me. His fists are bunching up, and his shoulders are turning tense. "Listen up, you little shits!" Scarlett shouts, her voice firm. She's very used to being listened to. If this moment was all of Scarlett I'd heard before, I would know that Scarlett's someone not to be fucked with. "Those rat bastards at Drycourt did this place up good and proper. This bar, this whole building is plenty secured against mass rains. So, those of you who already have secured homes, feel free to leave. Slowly and without trampling my other customers. Bloody animals that you are. And the rest of you trying to trample each other to get to a mass rain shelter first, like the one that Mr. Silverprick is promising, you can go there, but I have another solution for you, because I promise I'll charge you a hell of a lot less than even his reduced rates will, and unlike his shelter, mine has liquor." I am surprised to hear someone cheer from the back of the crowd. I smile. Scarlett's clearly not my biggest fan. She seems tough and hard. But as she speaks, I see the relaxing shoulders of the bar's patrons. She cracks a joke, and someone laughs. Some people are filing out, but most are staying. Samantha has all of the window shutters closed. Now the only exit without a thick steel seal over it is the door. "Now then," Scarlett says, "you have 2 minutes to pay for a night's stay. Use the public broadcast network to do so. If you don't pay and try to stay the night, Obviously, we'll find out. And I'll have my friend over there get creative with that revolver of hers. Scarlet gestures to me, and I shrug, stroking my hand over the gun and not looking anyone in the eye. I don't know why, but this feels comfortable. She lies. Tells them I'm her friend, that I'll have her back in a fight. When moments ago we were the ones fighting. When her husband is getting ready to turf me out on. Understanding rises within my mind as the pieces click into place. Scarlet needs to make it look like I'm her enforcer tonight. I'm how she's planning on keeping order. Not because she needs me to keep order, but because giving me something to do will stop Conrad from throwing me out into the rain. Smart. And generous, given our last engagement. Fidget, I say.
This is an emergency broadcast. Please do not turn off this message.
I halt my connection. Right. She's in standby mode, and things seem to be calming down. Everyone has returned to their seats, ordering drinks, and nervously glancing at the sealed windows. It's significantly darker now. We can't see outside but for the door, but everyone's waiting for the mass rain to fall. Finally, Scarlet gestures to Samantha, and the teenager seals the door. We're shut out from the outside world, and hopefully protected. Samantha walks through the crowd and over to me. "All right, upstairs with you," she says. "Why?" "I need to seal some of the windows upstairs, including the one in your room. And you should probably stay away from the bar for a while. Conrad's gonna run the place till morning, like normal, so you really don't want to be here for much longer." Hoping to avoid a confrontation with the man, I stand, leaning on my walking stick with one hand and Samantha's shoulder with the other. Like so many others before, this action doesn't come as the result of a clear thought. It's simply something I've done so many times that my body just knew Samantha would be there to lean on. She supports my unsteady balance as we walk to a door in the bar and up a flight of stairs. The concrete stairwell is gray, dim, and cold. The stench of rot and mold worms its way into my nose. At the top of the staircase, we stand in a hallway. 6 doors. "Third on your left," Samantha says. "Be sure to close your window shutters so the rain doesn't get in." She mumbles something about all the glass they'll need to replace in the morning. As she enters a nearby room, I have other questions. So many questions. But again, I'm suddenly just so damn tired. My room is everything I should have expected from all descriptions of the last Aria Moon's life. It's filthy. Clothes scatter the floor. The air is thick with layers of disgusting and wretched smells that pass through me and leave my head spinning and my gut twisting. Bullet holes line the ceiling and wall. The faded green paint is chipped and cracked, falling apart. There's a small desk against the wall covered in notes, some scrawled hastily and others written in a slow, steady hand. Same handwriting, beneath the different tempos. I guess it's nice to know I had moments of measured temperance. But the rest. Glass cracks beneath my shoe and I look down to regard the empty bottle of gin I just cracked. Because of course there are bottles. Glass and cigarettes everywhere. There's a bong in the corner. My one-person bed is strangely neat. Corners tucked in with military precision, and the pillow puffed to perfection. I run my hand over the surface of the bed. These sheets aren't just neat. They're pristine. Questions roll over themselves, again and again, as I take in the sight before me. For fuck's sake, I find myself saying. For fucking sake, fuck! I guess obscenities are all I have left in my mind for now. I can't keep doing this. I'm only 2 days into my new life, and it's like every moment I'm being shot in the chest with some bad news or another. What I need is a break. relaxation, anything other than this relentless search for answers and explanations. I just need something simple. It comes in the form of Scarlet, standing in my open doorway, fury in her eyes. Her shoulders go tense, her hands shake, and her breathing is ragged. I know why she's up here. And my brain's rattling off a list of 1,000 questions, and right now, if I'm being honest, I can't be bothered to try and ask them. Whatever Scarlet and I have seems to be frustrating and complicated. But it's not the complicated part of our relationship that her eyes are demanding we explore. As one, we stride toward the center of the room, each one of us gaining more ground with every step, each one insisting on taking the lead. There is ferocity in our bodies as we meet in the center. Our arms wrap around each other, pulling our bodies firmly close together, our faces barely an inch apart. My hand reaches up for her hair and grips it tightly. I pull on it so hard, I'd consider the act to be vicious. And Scarlet jerks her head back, resisting the motion, her eyes locked to mine. She's daring me to stop. So I don't. Her nails dig into my back. It hurts. It really fucking hurts. But I don't want her to stop. I want to fucking win this. Whatever this is. Our lips draw closer together, our breaths fast and heavy, our bodies tense, ready for a competition of a different sort. There is anger. There is so much anger when we finally kiss.
Hey handsome, have you got the time? I've been watching you since the moment you arrived. A beau from Manhattan with candlelight bling. Think that you can handle some valley swing. What is that sweet aroma that fills the air? A scent I would breathe in most anywhere. It's drawing me in and pulling me to you. And every thought I have turns the language blue. All at once it's like the sky fell down, leaving us alone in this crazy town.